Just found out my boyfriend has been paying camgirls since we've been together. I just found out that my current boyfriend pays camgirls to watch him masturbate and vice versa. We had talked about his interest in camgirls in the past, but I was fully under the impression that this habit had ceased since we had gotten together and our relationship had become quite serious. It never bothered me that he did it before because it was when he was single, and I think that's totally acceptable. I have no issue with him masturbating or looking at porn, but for some reason it deeply upsets me that he seeks out specific women to pay and have one-on-one time with over a camera, and he also allows them to watch him. I have no idea the frequency, but he said he does it whenever we are fighting, he feels lonely, or whenever he is bored, which I suspect means pretty often, but I have no idea. It came up this morning that he still engages in this behavior and has since we've been together, and he said he thought I knew and that I was fine with it. He said I should be thankful that he's so upfront about it and doesn't try to hide it from me. Maybe he genuinely thought I knew and was okay with it, but upon seeing my reaction and how hurt I was when I found out he still does it, I feel like he should have been less defensive and angry with me and understood that maybe we weren't on the same page, and I feel hurt by this. Possibly even apologetic. When I asked him how he would feel if the roles were reversed, he said that girls don't get off in the same ways, so you can't compare. He called me jealous and said that I was being emotional and overreacting. The more upset I became, the angrier he got, until I asked him to leave and said I don't want to see him anymore and that we need time apart. To me, this would be the same as if I was arranging mutual masturbation over the internet with random men and also paying for it. I am upset and needing space away from him and considering ending the relationship. Knowing his extremely defensive personality, I worry that trying to communicate on this will just result in him lying to me and withholding facts. How should I approach this? I would personally count this as cheating if the topic wasn't discussed at the very beginning. Also, what a comment, girls don't get off the same mic, that doesn't sit well. TBH, I understand why you feel upset. Heck, I would. I think this may be a deal breaker for me, but that's just me. I think you need to understand if this is something that can continue happening and you be okay with, or whether you will always be thinking about it. Agreed. What the hell does that even mean? The girls don't get off the same. I think if we replace the topic masturbating with cam girls with any other topic, it still boils down to my boyfriend did something that deeply upsets and hurts me. Instead of listening to me and talking it through and coming to a compromise, he told me I was overreacting and I should get over it. The subject doesn't matter to me, it's how dismissive he was of your feelings. That's shitty. He called me jealous and said that I was being emotional and overreacting. The more upset I became, the angrier he got, until I asked him to leave and said I don't want to see him anymore and that we need time apart. Make that permanent. Not necessarily because of the cam girls, though that's problematic in itself. He doesn't give a damn about your feelings, and that's much more of a concern. To me, this would be the same as if I was arranging mutual masturbation over the internet with random men and also paying for it. Pretty much. I dated a dude who did this and it never got better, even though he said he would stop. He openly had a porn addiction and I dealt with it for 4 years. The amount of resentment I have towards him is insurmountable, even though we are not together anymore. Looking back, I wish I just would have left. Watching porn is one thing, but if my wife got naked for another man that's not me is a deal breaker and cheating to me. Devastated. My 36M husband, 38M, told me he cheated on me multiple times. We've been together for 10 years and married 6 of those. It has been far from a perfect marriage, but I've always stayed because I knew underneath the issues we loved each other. He is my best friend. We haven't had the best sex life, but that's no lack of trying on my part. Last night, he tells me a lot. He revealed secrets he had hidden from me that explain a lot of the tension in our marriage, to which he took responsibility. He recognizes that he needs help and asked me to help him. And then he laid the bomb. He had cheated on me on 4 different occasions with escorts, the most recent of which was 2 nights ago. It's the one thing I've always been upfront about that would be a deal breaker. You don't get to hit me or cheat on me. He has apologized and told me he loves me. He wants to seek help for his issues and use that help to then turn our marriage around. I don't know what to feel or think or do. I've reached out to my therapist, and we have a couples counseling call later today. I'm livid, hurt, betrayed, sad, angry, scared. I can't talk to my friends about this as it feels like that opens a can of worms that could prevent us from reconciling if we decide to do that. I feel stuck. I love him and hate him right now. I'm having a hard time imagining life without him or starting over. I've always wanted a happy marriage and kids, and this all feels so very far away. Would appreciate any advice. Update. Thank you everyone for the advice and consideration. I'm destroyed right now and all the different bits of advice and perspective are helping. I'm getting a STD panel tomorrow, as well as speaking with a therapist myself first thing in the AM. My husband has moved out for at least a month and will be actively working on his problems. We are going to start couples counseling, but I haven't promised anyone anything. I'm going to work on my honest reflection of what I really feel and what is best for my future. If you don't decide to leave him, in the very least, there needs to be serious consequences. As in a decent period of separation. He made the decision to betray your trust and could have very well put your health at risk. I'm broken isn't a good enough for a grown man. He needs to get his crap together on his own. You aren't a rehab center. Get an STD test now. We'll go to an urgent clinic today. You've already been upfront with him that cheating is a deal breaker for you. So, is it a deal breaker or not? He knew the consequence would be you leaving him, and he decided to pull out his wallet and pay for sex anyways. I wish you so much luck with your therapist. I'm hoping you can reach some clarity about what you want. Don't think about your husband or his feelings right now. He's the one that fucked up. You have all the power and choice right now. Is cheating a deal breaker or is it something you will let slide? I would leave if I were you, but talk to your therapist and see if she can help you work through your emotions before make any decisions. He betrayed your trust and seems to have already ruined the happy marriage hopes. You deserve better. Sometimes the best thing to do is the hardest. So, your husband decided to finally stop lying to you and cheating on you after all this time. That's great and all. But how does it excuse the dozens/hundreds of tiny lies? He clearly has no respect for you, or for your marriage. I'm just unsure how he could ever rebuild that trust with you. Emo, if you sacrifice your ability to respect yourself by staying with him, you'll just end up insecure and resentful, and the relationship will deteriorate even further. To summarize, your husband abused your trust in him, lied to you repeatedly, and hid things from you. He did that because he wanted to continue fucking escorts behind your back. He prioritized his own selfish desires above you, above his relationship with you, above your mental health/well-being. That's pretty telling. I'm also very curious as to why he's telling you now. There was a catalyst to that decision and I'm interested as to what it was. Beyond all that, I really think you need to take some space from the relationship and him, so you can think on how you actually feel. I suggest journaling all your thoughts out. Just puke it all up onto the page and then you can go back and sort through it all after you've had a chance to breathe and digest it all. Once you've clarified how you feel, then you can go discuss what you want to do next. Your comment is hard for me to read but I appreciate it. Does she, 20s, want to be the only girl in a group of guy friends, 20s? Over a year ago I, 20SF, befriended a group of people and we've all gotten along really well. All similar interests and senses of humor. For the most part things have been great but recently the girlfriend, 20SF, of one of the guys has been getting testy. She's been the lone girl amongst guys for a long time. A few of the guys including her boyfriend have commented how she's chased away other potential female friends in the past to me. me. They thought that she changed and that we could be good friends, and I hoped for that too. Recently she's been questioning in front of everyone why I'm single, questioning why I'm friends with the group, talking about how much longer she's been friends with everyone. I don't try to read into it, but she's been making things increasingly awkward. She's also sent me texts questioning the friendship I have with her boyfriend. When someone points out how awkward her behavior is making people feel, she defaults to talking about how bad her life has always been and her self-harm, etc., making everyone feel guilty. I feel at a loss about how to handle this. I feel like I've been put on the defensive as to explain my life choices. I don't flirt with anyone, we all banter and joke like normal friends. I've been taking the high road every time these interactions have occurred. Why does she act like this, and what's the best way to handle it in the long run? It feels like she wants to be the only girl in the group. If it's true, why would that be? It's very possible. Have you ever actually asked her what her problem is? It's not an unreasonable guess that she enjoys the attention from being the girl of the group, however silly that may be. Some people, especially in their early 20s, take one aspect of their life and wear it as their whole identity. She may feel threatened by you, that you are encroaching on the thing that makes her her. This is a really good comment, and sometimes an upvote just isn't enough. She is clearly tying her identity to being the only woman in that group. The point that she's become territorial, and sees another woman as encroaching on her space. She thinks her value comes from being the woman in the circle, as opposed to a person in the circle. She's insecure and sees you as a threat and competition for attention. The only way to solve this is by calling her out on it and defeating her in a cage match. Start responding with ridiculous things. Why are you still single? I'm secretly a giant lizard, and every time I get a partner they freak out when I take off my person skin. There's not much she can do against you turning it into a joke. Yes, she's trying to scare you off, but if you just don't give real answers or get defensive, what can she do? And anytime she tries to passive-aggressively comment towards you, or ask questions like that, just act dumb. Why? What do you mean? Oh, sorry, I don't think I understand. What do you mean by that? Put her in a position where she has to explain herself. She either has to drop it, or reveal her true intentions and make herself look bad. Yes, she wants to be the center of attention and will do the same thing when a guy in that group gets into a relationship. Those people are toxic, and using her mental health as a weapon is gross.